No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Ow, 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 ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Monday to you, a new week, and we appreciate you starting off with us here at Bronco Nation News. This is a Blue and Orange Store Monday, so make sure you check out blueandorangestore.com, all the Boise State gear. They still got some of that Mountain West Championship football gear, all the NIL deals and things like that on the shirts and sweatshirts. So if you're looking for any Boise State gear, no better place than the blueandorangestore.com, or check them out at the mall there in Boise. We appreciate Travis Hawks and company for that. And it's Monday, so we got Mike Prater with us, host of Prater in the Ball Game, weekdays 3 to 6. You hear him on 95.3 FM, 1350 AM, the app, all those ways. And Mike, always appreciates you on a Monday, getting up a little early and starting your week off with us. How's it going?
Mondays with the crew. It's a penalty to hang out with Prater on a Monday morning. That's a rough way to start the week, but here we are, BJ. Let's do it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Couple good football games yesterday. Chiefs, 49ers. What do you make of the Super Bowl?
I'm excited for the Super Bowl. Now, the only problem with the Super Bowl for me is, I make it very clear that I don't like the Baltimore Ravens or Lamar Jackson, so I don't have a foil in this team. I have to figure out who to like and who to hate in this game, but I like both coaches. I like both teams. I like both rosters. I guess it's just a feel-good celebration of football for me, but you're probably a little bit of a Kansas City Chiefs guy because you're from that area. But we all know that you're an original St. Louis Rams guy, so we'll let that slide as possible. But I'm not sure who I'm going to root for. I'm not sure who's going to win. Yesterday's games were great entertainment. It's a sports talk radio paradise. There's lots to talk about the next couple of days, certainly leading up to the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I like how they did that, with the bye week there to just add to the excitement and suspense of it all. And yeah, I wouldn't say I'm diehard Kansas City Chiefs, but I got a Mahomes jersey and a couple hats, and we went down to Vegas last year to watch the Super Bowl, and last night on a whim when they won, I convinced my wife to book it again. So I think we're gonna fly down, watch the Super Bowl, and fly back again like we did 2 weeks ago once the Chiefs won, and we'll be our partners at Circa Resort and Casino. So I don't like live and die with the Chiefs, but I'd certainly like them better than most of the other teams in the league, and we'll be pulling for the Chiefs for sure. And you got I was pulling for the Lions, not gonna lie. Thought that would have been a cool story, and we know some folks that are Lions fans. I would have really liked to have seen the Lions find a way to pull that off and to be up 17 and not be able to hang on. That was a tough one, but man, the 49ers looked impressive there in the second half.
Yeah, and I'm not the Lions were a fun story. They're a cute little story, but this is big boy football. And not that the Lions aren't big boy football. Dan Campbell's a big boy, and his decision-making is certainly going to be a fodder of conversation. I got some thoughts about him that we can talk about later on Idaho Sports Talk in terms of how he handled the situation. But, I'm fine with the Detroit Lions going away. That was a cute little underdog story, and maybe they'll get back one day. You kind of have to earn your stripes in the NFL, and you have to lose, and you have to kind of go through the hardship a couple times to be able to get back. I know Dan Campbell said, we're not sure if we're ever going to get back, and nothing is a given in the NFL, but the 49ers deserve to be there. Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. I'll just put that out there right now, especially when there's something at stake, when there's something important, when there's a postseason on the line. So I love the Brock Purdy, the moxie of that dude as opposed to, and Lamar Jackson certainly had some help in losing that football game. So let's not all just pin it on Lamar Jackson, but 49ers and Chiefs, that's a fun one for me, BJ.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And how about Brock Purdy's brother, the one that's now going to Nevada, was right there, at one point rumored to go to Boise State, was right there in the, celebrating with the family and all that. And so that was kind of an interesting side story, a Mountain West quarterback there on the field celebrating and stuff. But we'll see what happens. We got 2 weeks to talk about it, but I know it was a fun Sunday watching those games. Not as much fun on Saturday. Mike Prater at Extra Mile Arena was fun till about the last 7.9 seconds of regulation. Boise State falling in overtime, 90-84 to Utah State. We're gonna dive into this game, but man, you look at what Nevada did last night, going to the pit and losing by 34. 34, I think, was the final margin. Certainly not going to get any easier for Boise State. They will be at New Mexico on Wednesday night, and that looks like maybe the toughest game of the season to date. And then you come home to play Air Force, but then you got to go right back on the road to Colorado State and Utah State, which, again, at the time, I was kind of projecting all three of those to be losses, and there was still a path forward. It just didn't include losing at home to Utah State the other day. So you just got to try to go pick one of these off on the road. I don't know if Wednesday at the pit is going to be the one where it happens, but I think that's what makes it a little more frustrating. Mike Prater on its own, quad one loss on Saturday, a close loss in overtime. As I said, the metrics didn't really change. You weren't really hurt from that standpoint, but in terms of just wins and losses and trying to A, win this league, and B, be in a position to make the NCAA tournament, with the math, what it is for a mid-major team, that one hurt a little bit on Saturday.
Oh, there's no doubt that hurt a little bit. What a beautiful atmosphere in there. And it was legit. It was really cool. I sat up high and looked down, and there was not a lot of empty seats. Even the dead people, I call them the dead people seats. Even those were kind of full. The lifetime member seats were in there, and it was a great atmosphere. And you could just tell that it was big boy atmosphere. And I love these Saturday afternoon games. And I was going to ask you this question. Did they consciously put together these Saturday afternoon games? I like them. What is this, 3 Saturday home games in a row? Last week, and I know we got an Air Force game that won't be quite as big a deal this Saturday, but Saturday afternoon home games, I think they're really, really cool, and they're really, really special. They seem like it works for this community. The fans are responding, and kudos to Utah State. I wasn't expecting that kind of a gutsy performance from Utah State. They were very, very impressive. There was chances for both teams to win that game, and I know we're going to dive into some specifics here, but it was a lost opportunity, and I felt bad for Boise State. That overtime was a tough one, man. That was a tough one.
Yeah, and on the game times, once the games are not picked for TV, then the home team gets to decide the start time, I believe, for Mountain West Network. And I think Leon just loves those early afternoon games. The CBS game was 11 a.m. That was set by CBS, but this game, the Air Force game coming up, and I think there's another one later in the season at home on a Saturday. If it's not picked up for TV, they get to pick it, and 2 o'clock is kind of the perfect, not too early, but you still get your evening too, and they've done that over time. And yeah, it was everything was perfect about that game until the last 7.9 seconds, as I said. And we do have the video of that play that I'll put up here as we talk about it if I can, although my computer's being a little wonky today. But we'll get into some of the specifics, as you said. But to be 7.9 seconds, I personally would not have had the 2 players on the free throw line. You get a chance to set your defense a little more there. Leon Rice said they've always kind of done that, but he said where the issue is Roddy Anderson, and not to blame this all on Roddy Anderson, but he kind of went forward to try to pressure the point guard on the left side of the court instead of staying back. And essentially, once they got the rebound, that left 4 Boise State players like inside the 3-point line. And all of a sudden, Max Rice was the only player back. And then, give Omar Stanley credit. He missed the free throw, but he got back, and it was him one-on-one trying to guard a point guard, a guard driving to the basket. And you didn't want to foul for an and one to potentially lose the game. And it would have also been his 5th foul. So he did what he could to stay with the guy. But with 7 seconds left, a scramble like that just shouldn't happen where the guy ends up having almost, essentially an easy break to the basket. It was just kind of a weird play. Like I said, I personally would have preferred at least one or both of Degenhart and I think Abo were up there on the line. Like, I know they're trying to get the rebound and you're trying to slow them down a little bit and take some time away. But then that leaves odd man numbers going the other way potentially. It was just kind of a fluky play. I understand. Yep. I understand Leon's reasoning. Like I said, Roddy Anderson for some reason was back and then kind of ran forward. They didn't pass that guy the ball, and he was kind of stuck in no man's land there, in front of the Boise State bench. And so, weird play. A lot had to happen. You have to miss the free throw and then have them make it. But that's kind of what leads to a ugly loss. I don't know if ugly is the right word, but a tough loss in overtime where you had the game pretty much won. And that one I think stings more just the way it happened there at the end, Mike.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. And there's even other plays that I'll play here. Those are the kind of games, especially. Can you imagine a coach or a player, going back and just thinking, oh, that play here with 4 minutes to go, that play here with 7 minutes to go, that play here with 90 seconds to go. There was all kinds of different plays in that game where you're going to want to take it back. Same thing with the NFL games yesterday. There's going to be some dudes that are going to think about one play for the rest of their lives. It certainly wasn't that magnitude over the weekend at Extra Mile Arena, but they're going to think about that one until it hurts, until they get back on the court on Wednesday. So I know that was a tough one. I got to give credit, not that I'm trying to rub it in Leon Rice's face, but I got to give credit to Danny Sprinkle. I mean, that guy's a great coach. He's doing a nice job with that program. I've always criticized guys that moved up from the Big Sky or, so-called FCS. I know basketball is different, that it's all Division I, but, they've ruined my basketball program a couple of times, University of Utah, with bringing in like Eastern Washington guys. And I just didn't like the hire at the time. But Danny Sprinkle's done a great job, brought a couple of rock stars with him. He's got this program going on. I love basketball in Logan when it's going on. My dad went to school at Utah State, so I got some kind of an emotional connection there. And it's such a cool community and such a cool fan base, and they love their basketball there way more than they love their football. And I just wanted to give one quick shout out to Danny Sprinkle and the job that he's doing.
No, he's going to be in the National Coach of the Year conversation right now. And the way it works out quickly, it's a weird scheduling quirk. We're 12 days away or 11 days away. Right, next Saturday, Boise State goes back to Logan right away. So that's going to be an interesting one. And I'll say this though, Mike, like right now, if these two teams played in Vegas, like I'd still take Boise State. Like on a neutral court, I still like Boise State. I think they win that game 8 out of 10 times yesterday or Saturday. Just a couple things you said didn't happen. They missed a couple shots, missed a free throw. I think I don't think they're going to have a great chance of winning in Logan in 2 weeks, but you put them on a neutral court. Like I don't think Utah State is like massively better than Boise State, and they proved it on Saturday, which a lot of the Utah State fans were trying to dunk on me and stuff. And I get it. That's fine. But I still think on a neutral floor, I still like Boise. I still think Boise State matches up fairly good against that team. And if they were one of the teams, if they match up in Vegas, I would not have a problem with them facing them at some point in the conference tournament. They played a great game. They hung around, but I mean, Boise State was up 7 early in the second half after Omar Stanley hit a big 3, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to pull away, and this is what we thought was going to happen. And then Leon Rice got that technical foul. And they did call the next 10 fouls on after the technical foul on Utah State, which was kind of quirky. But right after the technical foul, actually, Utah State, even despite the foul disparity, started to make their comeback. And there was a couple times where Boise State would get up 5 or 6. There was one stretch, I think they were up 59-54, and Tyson Degenhart just had back-to-back kind of sloppy turnovers. Both of them led to easy layups the other way, and all of a sudden it's a one-point game again. And just every time Boise State tried to get a little cushion, Utah State would come back, and a lot of it was self-inflicted from Boise State, like I said, with a bad turnover or something. And they just, but like I said, they're down 4 with 3 minutes left. You weren't even sure it was going to get to regulation, but they made a couple tough plays, tied it up, and then got the lead back. And I thought Danny Sprinkle's technical foul, I don't know what he said, and I guess they were trying to enforce this. You can't be on the court rule with both coaches, but with a minute and 5 seconds left in a 1-point game, to call a coach for a technical foul unless he literally like blocks the ref from going down the court or is cussing so badly that everyone in America can hear it. Like the refs were terrible for both teams. And, there was some narrative that I was saying that's why the Boise State lost because of the refs. Not at all. They were terrible for both teams. And I even said at the time, like, you cannot call a technical foul on Danny Sprinkle in a 1-point game with 1 minute to go. That was just a horrible technical foul. And it almost cost them the game because Tyson Degenhart hit both free throw shots. And then I don't remember exactly what happened, but I believe Boise State didn't score, though, on the ensuing possession. They could have put it up by 5 and ended the game. I think it was it might have been a 1-on-1 at that point, or I forget if they weren't shooting or what, but they went up 3 on the technical shots, could have gone up 4, 5, or 6 on that possession, didn't do it, and that led to some of the things there at the end. But I thought Sprinkle did a great job, but I thought the technical foul was called horribly in that situation. But I don't know, and he said he didn't cuss. I don't know what he said. By the way, Danny Sprinkle was very complimentary of Boise State after the game and the post-game. We got that interview up on Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. We played it on the post-game show. But overall, Mike, I thought the officials were pretty bad for both teams. That's not why Boise State lost. But it was just a weird game, some weird calls, some weird missed free throws, and you look up, and it's a win that Boise State certainly wishes later in the season that they could have back.
Yeah, and the hard part is, you wake up on Sunday morning, you go back to practice, you go into some training, you go into some film work, maybe you get some body work done, and all of a sudden you look, oh crap, 3 of the next 4 games are absolutely brutal. So I think that's the hard part. That's like waking up on a college hangover bender and waking up and realizing you lost your car. It's a double whammy. And, all of a sudden they got 3 of these big games. The Air Force, I would assume Air Force at home on a Saturday is a little bit of a breather there, but 3 games that are probably going to be losses. If they can steal one, I mean, is that what the expectation is, to steal one of those 3 big games and you feel good about yourself, not to lose all 3? That's kind of a weird pickle to be in, but that's the situation that Boise State's in right now. So they need a gut check time. And sometimes the toughness factor, I think Boise State's a tough team. And I think Leon Rice is a very tough man and a very tough coach. And his players always play tough with, defense and rebounding. And sometimes they just let it get away. It's hard to focus for all those, complete game and then into overtime. And I think they just lost it a little bit, but they can still come back and be tough. I was wondering about the Utah State game. You said if we do expect Boise State to go into Logan, and Logan probably on paper should win that game. Let's say they rematch in Vegas and Boise State's lost to them twice. Boise State's the kind of team that toughness-wise, competitive-wise, I think they can come back and play with the Utah State and beat them, back to your point. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but those next 3 games are brutal, BJ.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like I said, the home court advantages are so good in this league that it's so hard to tell sometimes who the better team actually is. Like, I think, New Mexico's a better team than Nevada. We saw that. They won by 34. But sometimes home team, home court, it plays a big factor, and you put them on a neutral court and things could be a lot different. And so, I would say you're probably right about that. And we'll, get into that maybe later on future shows. But, if you could steal one, the way the math worked out was I was assuming they were going to win the home games, but then lose the 4 big boy road games, and you would still be okay. So now you lost one of the home games. Now you essentially have to steal another one of the road games, maybe 2, but in terms of the 4 that are left. But they have a favorable stretch. I mean, going to Wyoming's not going to be favorable, not going to be easy now. We've seen what they've done. They just beat Colorado State and Nevada in back-to-back home games. Going to Laramie is just not an easy place to go. But once they get through this 2-week stretch, they've got a little bit of a favorable schedule. They've got 4 games against the worst teams in the league and then home games against Nevada and New Mexico. So they could win. They could rip off 6 wins in a row after they go to Logan. The schedule is a little more favorable, but you kind of need to just, at worst, it's going to be 1-3, but if you could go 2-2 in this next 4-week stretch, beat Air Force. And then I think Colorado State is maybe the one in terms of atmosphere and team, the way they're playing. Colorado State next Tuesday might be your best chance of the three, probably, to try to pick one of those off. But yeah, I mean, if you go win at the Pit on Wednesday, all of a sudden you're back in business right away because you give them a loss and you're back. But I mean, it just kind of, at this point, are you fighting for first place? Or are you fighting for the tournament? I mean, there's just different things to play for. But that was, for a lot of reasons, a tough loss. Home game where you had them and in the last 7 seconds couldn't hang on. Max Rice, he's been struggling. There's been some stats out there about him. I want to talk about Max Rice. I know you're working on a column on Max Rice. Let's take a quick 90-second timeout, Mike, and then when we come back here, we'll dive into the uncomfortable conversation surrounding Max Rice and what the Broncos do from here. We're back in 90 seconds. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. Back here on Bronco Nation News Live, quick shout out to Bronco Brew Coffee. Jordan Morales says that they got a Bronco Brew coffee tasting in their office today. Not even a coffee guy, but excited for folks to give it a try and support the program. So BroncoBrew.coffee, roasted to order coffee. And again, you're supporting Boise State University Athletics with every sip. So check them out, BroncoBrew.coffee. They'll come to a tasting at your office. You can get a renewing subscription where every week you get a fresh roasted bag of coffee right to your doorstep, and there's a lot of different flavors. This is the milk chocolate caramel cinnamon alumni blend. There's a lot of different options as well. So appreciate our sponsors, Bronco Brew Coffee. And again, you help Boise State, you help the NIL game at Boise State, and you help obviously BNN by helping support them. So we would love for you to do that. And Mike Prater back here on Bronco Nation News Live on a Monday edition. We're here with Mike Prater. You can hear him 3 to 6. My name is BJ Rains, and we're talking about Boise State basketball and now Max Rice. And I know that you're working on a column on him, Prater, and we'll get to that column. Looking forward to reading that in the next day or two here. But I think all of us like Max Rice. We obviously, like Leon Rice, and I think that last year it worked so perfectly, and Max Rice was great and was an all Mountain West caliber player, and there was no need to kind of question the playing time or any of that stuff. And this year it just hasn't gone as smoothly. And now the last couple of weeks, the fans have gotten a little restless and people are questioning why he's playing so much. And I think a lot of us just remember what he did last year and expected it to continue. And at some point you expected him to catch fire and, have a 9 for 10, couple games and everything would be fine, but it just hasn't happened this year. And we'll get into the stats, and I've got them all in this notepad here. I did my homework, Mike Prater, as I know you have. But overall, just this generally, before we kind of dive into the deeply, Max Rice struggling but continuing to shoot, continuing to play. Where are you on the Max Rice situation?
I think we're all asking the wrong questions, including the fans. And I understand the fans' angst, and I certainly understand the media's response and the back and forth. Everybody is saying, is Max Rice playing too much? No. It's not, and that's a no-brainer. He's not playing too much. I don't even know what he's averaging per minute, but whatever it is, it's perfectly fine by me. The problem with me, and this is so easily fixable. This is one of the things in sports you can absolutely fix. He's just shooting too much. That's it. Shooting too much. I don't need Max Rice shooting 10, 12, 14 times a game. And that's where Leon Rice comes into play and says, dude, you need to just stop shooting the ball so much. Look at every other stat sheet, even these bad games where Max Rice is struggling. Everywhere he contributes along the way. He's not turning the ball over. He's rebounding like a beast. He's taking care of the assists. He's doing the intangibles. I could sit here forever and talk about all the things that we've talked about Max Rice as an intangible player the last couple of years, and he's doing all those things at a very high level. Yes, I think Max Rice should be starting. I think Max Rice should be playing 28 to 32 minutes or whatever the heck it is. Just tell Max, stop shooting the ball. It's that simple. If he launches up 2 or 3 shots a half, I'm okay with that. No more double-digit shooting. That's exactly, in the last 2 games, he shot 29 times. I need that at least cut in half. Give him the minutes. I don't have no problem with the minutes, although 38's a lot, although that was also overtime, so that was the last one. Maybe you do reduce his minutes just by a minute or 2, but I'm not worried about the minutes, and I think we're all asking the wrong question. He's not playing too much. He's shooting too much.
I agree with that, and I would say, in particular, he's shooting too much from inside the 3-point line. The 2-point shots, I have no problem if he wants to keep jacking them up from 3. They're going to mostly, when he's open, like I still have confidence Max Rice can hit a 3. I don't need Max Rice posting up guys. I don't need him trying to dribble past a guy and beat him off the dribble and then put up some crazy layup and try to get a foul call. In the last game against Utah State, he was 1 for 7 from inside the 3-point line. His 2-point attempts were 1 for 7. He was 5 for 9 in the game at Fresno. He actually hit some of those, and I was pretty impressed. But you look at the other games: 0 for 2, 1 for 6, 2 for 4, 1 for 5, 0 for 1. In conference play, Mike, he is shooting 29.4% from 2-point range. 29.4% from 2-point range, which are supposed to be the quote easier shots inside the 3-point line. That is kind of where I have more of my I guess you would call it criticism, and I agree with you. Again, the 3-point shots haven't been great either. He was 3 of 8 in the last game, but 1 for 5, 1 for 6, 2 for 6, 1 for 4, 1 for 7, 3 for 7. He is 27.9% from 3-point range, and you look at last year, the 2% shots last year, Mike, 46.2% in conference play, and he's from 46% down to 29% from 2-point range. And the 3-point range in conference play last year, he was 45% from 3. 45.5% from 3. He was 46 of 101 in conference play. In conference play from 3-point range. So you go from 45.5 last year down to 27.9 so far in conference play this year. I know Leon's a big hey, at the end of the season the stats are going to correct themselves. I know he said that a lot about Nick Duncan. He said that a lot about when guys would struggle. He's wait till Tyson last year. The numbers will be there at the end of the season. And I understand that. And I guess at some point, that's why we've been waiting this long, is you just expected them to start going in. But when you're, essentially, almost not quite halfway through conference play, but more than a third of the way, you're 40%, I guess, or whatever through conference play, 27.9 from 3, 29.4 overall is 28.6. And I know everybody saw the numbers from Jay Tuss, but there are 798 players, Mike Prater, 798 players that have taken at least 70 shots in conference play. Okay. So we're about 800 players that have taken 70 shots in conference play. Only 4 players in the country have shot as much as Max Rice, but have a worse field goal percentage than Max Rice. There's a player from DePaul, a player from UCLA, a player from Merrimack, and a player from Cal at 26%. But his 28.6% is the 4th worst, I guess 5th worst. There's 4 worse than him of these 798 players in the country that have taken at least 70 shots. So wow, I agree that he does some things with the rebounding, does some other intangibles. His basketball IQ is very smart. And again, part of the problem is nothing against RJ Keene, Andrew Meadow. I think ultimately long-term, you think these guys are going to be major players here, but I'm not sure how much of, significant upgrades they are in terms of getting a ton more minutes than Max Rice. But, I know it didn't pay off last game because he struggled a little bit, but I need Buzo and I need Tyson both taking 15-plus shots a game. And I know Buzo was, I think, 4 of 14. That was a rare kind of off day for him. He was only 2 of 8 from 3. But I'll take Buzo any day of the week, taking 15-plus shots a game and feeling pretty good about the chances of the majority of them going in. So maybe that's the easy way to do it. You just, but again, some people say, hey, Max Rice is out there to shoot 3, to shoot. if he's not shooting, why is he out there? I mean, I guess, the stats are what they are, Mike. They're not pretty. They're historically bad here. And maybe that is the easiest way. Just try to only have him shoot when he's wide open.
Yeah, I cap him. Give him a cap. You know, you get 4 shots a half, dude. And I don't care if they're 3-point shots or layups. You get 4 points a half. And I know that sounds kind of weird. You know, you tell a guy to go out there who's a pretty darn good shooter when he's got it going on. You can only shoot 4 times. What if there's that 5th attempt and it's an important attempt and all of a sudden he's second guessing himself? So that's not good coaching to cap him, but you do have to restrict his shots somehow. And I have all the faith in the world in the Degenharts and the Abos and even the Stanleys. I want those 3 to be the scorers of this basketball team. Maybe even Roddy Anderson, and I'm not sure why Andrew Meadows kind of up and down in terms of his minutes and his trust factor that is coming from the Boise State coaching staff, but maybe even a little bit more from him. When he starts popping the ball, I have more faith in him than I do in Max Rice right now. So it's a tough call, but you got 3 big, heavy scorers. They're all pretty dependable. Yeah, they're going to have their bad nights, but those are the 3 scores. Let Max do what he has to do. Let Roddy take care of the ball, and let the 3 big guys back in the half. And even if Cam Martin plays as well as he did the other day, you know, he had some good bursts, some good minutes, and some good signs. You know, let him have some opportunities there. But I think Max is fine. You don't want to get in his head too much. I think he's one of those emotional players where even if it's coming from dad, you know, you don't want to clutter his mind. And, you know, we've talked about, you know, Talon Green disease, the confidence. I talked about Jace Whiting a couple weeks ago having Talon Green disease by playing with a lack of confidence. And you can see Jace Whiting the last couple of games is playing with more confidence. He's banging down a couple of shots, scoring 5 points a game, being smart with the ball and taking care of the ball. He has kind of gotten rid of the Talon Green disease. I need Max to do the same thing and get rid of the Talon Green disease. Find some confidence in there, limit your shots, and then just go off and do the intangible stuff that you're really, really good at, that's really, really dependable. Max, I don't need you to be a scorer. Just go off and do the other things and let the big 3 be the big scorers on this basketball team.
Red Lamb says the only way you're going to restrict his shots is to restrict his minutes. Again, I just don't. I
don't believe that because I think Max is coachable, and I think Leon is giving him the green light. And I'm not in these meetings. You would know better than me, but I don't necessarily agree with that. You can tell Max Rice what to do. He's very coachable. He's smart. He gets it. You just have to put in those restrictions and make it happen without messing with his head.
And I think this is part of it, too. I mean, BSU Bill says, can't tell me guys like Kobe, Keene, Meadow are happy seeing a guy playing like crap, getting this many opportunities. I mean, there is part of the conversation. His dad's the head coach here, and they've done a very good job of you know, keeping it 12 and, you know, Leon and this. But, I mean, you know, a lot of the criticism, Mike, is that another player wouldn't be given as many chances, I guess, to start hitting shots as he is. Again,
I don't believe that either. So I get kind of tired. I sat next to a fan on Saturday that I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, punch in the face seems a little hard, but he was just so ignorant and so stupid. And I just don't believe that for a second. So I get a little fired up about that one. Sorry, BJ.
And he is the head coach, but obviously he's got, you know, 7 other staff members that are all contributing in terms of the game plan and playing time and stuff like that. Okay, so you don't think he's playing more, and, you know, because of that, but I keep going back to, again, I just don't know how much better the other options are. And I guess part of that is maybe you could criticize them saying earlier in the season, maybe we didn't see enough or give Keene or some of these guys enough opportunities to show that they deserve the minutes. But they're in a tough spot. I mean, he's a 6th-year senior, Mike. And as you said, he's over 1,000-point scorer. He's top 30, you know, all time in scoring at Boise State. And he's been here 6 years, as I said, and is a very well-known, likable guy, and we all like him, and it's even hard to be trying to, you know, somewhat criticizing him on here. We all like the guy. He's a great guy, a nice guy, but the shots just aren't falling. And when you're starting to lose games, it gets a little magnified here. And, you know, someone said, they're going to lose the locker room. I'm not sure I'm going to go that far. They all like Max Rice, and I think they all have confidence that he's going to start making them, but if you are an RJ Keene or somebody like that, or a Kobe Young, I can see why you'd be a little frustrated if you think you can go out there and make shots and you're not getting any opportunity to. And it's one thing if the guy that's playing over you is making all of his shots, but when he's not, I could see that being a little frustrating. I mean, RJ Keene finally got in a game for like the first time in 8 games and looked like he just didn't look ready or know what he was doing. He was just kind of out there, and who to blame him? He hadn't played in 3 weeks. I guess they're just they're in a tough spot, Mike. Whether I know there's a lot of fans in the chat here, it's 98% negative. And, I know you believe that, but I do think some fans do believe that he is getting a longer leash maybe than another guard shooting 28% wouldn't still be shooting that much or playing that much at this point in the season. They're in a tough spot right now. I don't know what the right answer is.
They are, but it's a really easy solution. I'll just go back to what I said. Just limit his shots. His minutes are fine. RJ Keene, sorry, dude. I don't want to see RJ Keene on the court. I really don't. If you're sitting here telling me that you want to see more minutes from RJ Keene and less minutes from Max Rice, what's the matter with you? Come on, people. Kobe Young, they're not playing for a reason. They're not good enough. They're not there yet. And is the coaching development part of that? Yeah. Did they get minutes early in the season? Yeah. Did they get better to earn enough minutes in Mountain West play? No. And some of that's on the players. So I've never seen anything out of RJ Keene or Kobe Young that tells me I have to have more minutes from those guys. Frankly, I want less minutes from those guys. And if Boise State's playing 7 players right now, I'm okay with that. Doing what you have to do. I got no problem with Max. I don't believe in the father-son thing whatsoever. I don't believe in that at all. To me, we're all overthinking that. And fans are just being emotionally and weird. Just limit Max's shooting. It's as simple as that, guys. When you're in a shooting slump, there's 2 ways to go. And coaches always say, shooters have to shoot through slumps. Everybody says that. But when it's 6 games and growing like it is right now, sometimes you have to peel back just a little bit. And that's exactly what they have to do. So I think they've been fine up to this point. Maybe you peel back a little bit. I want to see some more minutes from Omar Stanley. I mean, why is that guy only getting 24, 25 minutes and Max is getting 32? Give me more minutes from Omar Stanley. I know he's gotten in foul trouble the last couple of games, and he's got to be able to control that. But to me, that Omar Stanley's foul problems are bigger than Max Rice's shooting problems to me right now.
Yeah, and I also was kind of curious with the rotation why Roddy Anderson didn't get as many minutes in the last game. There was several key spots in the game where they were subbing him out for Jace Whiting, and I do think Jace has played better the last couple games.
Yes,
but I still probably think that if you had to pick one of them that you want to be bringing the ball up the court and running the offense, you would probably pick Roddy. Roddy is still, I think, higher ceiling, but also has, in my opinion, the higher chance of making some sort of mistake or blowing an easy layup. I think Jace is kind of more of your steady presence out there. You maybe get more positives with Roddy, but I think you can maybe get more negatives as well. And I don't think that's a shot at Roddy. I think he has a very high ceiling. We're starting to finally see him scoring the ball as well. But I was a little, and I like Jace. I think Jace and Roddy together. We saw some things in the San Diego State game, which I really liked when those two were together. We didn't see much of that at all. It was more subbing one in for the other in the last game, especially in the second half, which I thought was a little interesting. So anything else, Mike? And you mentioned Stanley's minutes going up. I wouldn't mind seeing Cam and Omar playing together a little more. We saw that in the San Diego State game. I mean, you got to love Cam's hustle, man. There was one rebound where he just continued to fight for it, and then finally earned a trip to the free throw line and made both his free throws. He's clearly limited with the shoulder. He's clearly not the high scoring, high whatever player that Boise State was hoping to get coming out of Kansas. But I still think he can contribute and be a presence off the bench that's not wasting minutes when he's out there. So I still like Cam Martin and things think that he's a benefit when he's out there as opposed to not. But I do agree with you. Omar Stanley should be out there as much as he can. And that was a tough 5th foul that he got right when overtime started. The guy kind of I give that great Osibor credit, man. He's a great player, but he also, like, anytime he's about to get contact, I'm not quite going to call him a flopper, but he was dobbing the head back, and he was definitely trying to get some foul calls there at times during the game, and it worked on the play. He essentially fell down, and they called Omar Stanley for his 5th foul there, and that was a huge difference in the game, I thought, not having Omar Stanley out there for overtime.
Yeah, and didn't he's got to be smarter. Didn't he have a foul in the first 10 seconds of the second half, and then he has a foul right there in that situation, the 5th foul. So there's certain times where you just got to back off, dude. I mean, even give him the basket. I mean, just back off. You need to be available. And Omar Stanley's had some foul problems the last couple of games, and to me, that's the bigger problem than the Max Rice shooting slump. So they can figure out the Max Rice shooting slump, just getting Omar Stanley and reining him in a little bit. I need him on the court for 34-plus minutes, not 25-plus minutes, 28 minutes, whatever it is he's getting. So that's fixable. You just got to have to get in his head and tell him to be smarter. Be a smarter player. And he's got so much talent. He's so good and so pure and so beautiful to watch on the basketball court. He just needs to be a little bit smarter in terms of handling his body.
Got to take one more quick 90-second timeout, and then I want to finish up, Mike, getting your thoughts on Stacey Collins. We talked to him last week, and I just wanted to get a quick thought from you on Stacey before we get out of here. One final break. We'll be back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the Valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON Management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON Management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, Mike Prater, two quick things. I know somebody else had mentioned it in the chat. We are losing one of our advertisers. You'll know who on Thursday, I guess it is, the 1st of February. So we are redoing the ads. And so there's also an ad with a former player. I'm also waiting on that because tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I don't think it's been announced yet, but tomorrow at 4 o'clock, they're announcing a new NIL deal with 2 new football players and some other athletes. So Lithia Ford will be up to 5, I believe, that they're now providing vehicles for. And it's 2 new football players that'll be announced at 4 o'clock tomorrow. I will be en route to Albuquerque, but we'll have Jaden, our intern, hopefully, or somebody there covering that event, and they're all going to get their vehicles and drive off the lot. And it's a big thing tomorrow at Lithia at 4 o'clock. And so I don't think I can say who it is yet, but there are 2 new football players getting vehicles, and that is part of the reason, just with my timing, that I didn't want to redo the ad for 3 days. So on Thursday, you'll have new ads for I'm not lazy or behind or whatever. We're just trying to wait for some logistics to happen on the front end, and that's why you're still hearing an old ad there. Just give me 3 more days, and it'll be updated with tomorrow's announcement. Okay, Stacey Collins, speaking of football, I just wanted to get a quick thought from you. We talked to him the other day. I was super impressed with what he had to say. I was telling, I think, Jay or somebody this, but Mike, it's so crazy. We think we know like a little bit about football. I know I don't know nearly as much as the coaches, but you think you know a little bit, and then you hear one of these assistant coaches like him or Kent Riddle or somebody just go off and talk, and you're like, yeah, I know absolutely nothing about football. And just a thing like there was something where he mentioned like, oh, well, usually when it's a kick return, you're trying, it's an obvious thing, but you never think about it. He's like, other than the start of the game or the start of the second half, if you're returning a kick, it's because something bad happened and the other team scored, and you got to find a way to change the momentum in the return game and things like that, where you're like, yeah, you're right. Like usually when you are returning a kick, it's not, something bad did just happen. And he talked about the aggressiveness they're going to have in the return game. He talked about, just trying to be game changers on special teams. And he talked about the blocks, and we played this clip last week, but the blocks that they over the last 10 years, Stacey Collins has done tracking this. When they try to block the kick and push up, forward on the line with the pressure, they've actually averaged more than 7 yards longer on the returns because of that. And so just the different things they're looking at and studying. I know that, the kicker and the punter were both good last year, Mike, but the return games, they didn't even try to return punts. I think they only returned like 8 or 9 punts the entire season or whatever it was. They just kind of gave up on that, didn't want to fumble it, and just said, we'll just take the fair catch. Didn't return a ton of the kicks either. It sounds like they're going to be more aggressive, and it sounds like Stacey Collins, as we all thought, has a chance to come in here and make a massive impact on special teams.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one, and I'm really excited about the replacing. I don't like DeMario Warren back there. I thought it was like, I think he just nailed it perfectly. It was more of a mentality in terms of let's just not screw it up, as opposed to let's go win a damn football game. And that's not the right mentality when it comes to big boy football. You can't go out there and just be careful and just fair catch the ball and don't worry about anything else. I want to, even if it's one play here, one play there, 7 yards over the course of a football game, having that attack mentality in 100% of your football game is important to me. And special teams, the return game last year was just a It was ridiculous. And so Stacey Collins brings an edge to him. He brings a mentality to him. And I think that's going to be fantastic. I don't want just George Holani back there taking care of the football. I want the most explosive, dynamic, fastest, speediest guy out there to give me some kind of a threat every time they have the ball and there's a kick return. So I'm excited for Stacey Collins to come in. I know they gave him the inside linebacker spot. That's fine. Don't screw that up. Don't screw up the kicker. Don't screw up the punter. Work on the return game, on all aspects of the return game and the blocking game in terms of the special teams and blocking. If you can add a little bit more of an edge element to both of those two games, that's a big win for Boise State football.
And then final thing, Mike, I don't think we've talked about Chris Marshall since that happened last week. There's some fans kind of on the fence to that. He had been booted from two programs or left two SEC programs, was dismissed from at least one of them for violation of team rules, had gotten suspended at Texas A&M as well, and then was at Ole Miss for a short time. I've done my homework. I've talked to some people on this. This is not again, the incidents, I can't claim to know everything that's going on in Chris Marshall's life, but the incidents that led to his dismissals from the previous two schools or the suspensions had nothing to do with females, had nothing to do with firearms or weapons. It was, just a what you could imagine a college kid maybe got into. It was not, I'm not, condoning what eventually might come out, and it's not my place to say what it was, but it was not, and again, I'm not necessarily making excuses for him, but this was not, I think that when it does come out, it's going to be something where it's like, okay, I can live with that, as a Boise State supporter as to why he's still on the team. You have other situations, the Jalen Clark situation, who knows what's going to happen there, but my understanding that this is nothing close to something like that. With that said, he does have two previous schools that didn't want him anymore, and he had some baggage and comes in here as a very highly touted player. It's a gamble. I think Spencer Danielson knows it's a gamble. I think he's willing to take it based on what I said, what they know is the past. And Chris Marshall, I think, understands this is literally his last chance. What do you make of Chris Marshall, 5-star player coming in here?
Well, as long as he's not one of the two NIL guys tomorrow, which I'm assuming he's not, I'm okay with that. As long as he comes in here with the Malachi Nelson attitude of, okay, I have to earn it. I'm not going to do interviews. I'm here with my family. I'm here for Last Chance U. I'm here to do what's right by this football team. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's really three schools because I'm going to throw the junior college stuff in there as well. And you can get out there and sniff around on the internet and connect the dots and try to figure out some of the things that he did. So, being dismissed from three schools is not good. Some of the background stuff that he's been connected to is not good, but you're right. It has nothing to do with weapons or women or some of the stuff that screams a higher level of attitude. So, Spencer Danielson, if he becomes this, I'm going to save the world kind of coach, that's a problem. If he takes one dude who thinks he's worth gambling on, and this dude comes in with the Malachi Nelson approach of, I'll earn everything I possibly can here. I'm going to lay low and be a good teammate and not take any NIL stuff, not any of this other stuff here and there. Just do my job and try to get back on track. Then I'm okay with that. Let's give Spencer Danielson a shot. Let's give Marshall a shot. Let's give Nelson a shot. Let's see what all three of these guys can do. 20 years ago, I'm not sure I would have given you that answer. But right now, I'm willing to trust Spencer Danielson, new in his era, to see what happens. But you got to do it the right way. And so far, everything that we've seen publicly, all three of those guys are doing it the right way.
And whether they phrase this exact way to him or not, my understanding is, Mike, that this is essentially a tryout this spring. Come in here, see how he works out with a team, hope he has no problems, hope it goes okay. And if he has shown to them that his issues in the past are behind him, then perfect. He's on the team right now. He's on the team, but I think the leash is going to be shorter than maybe with some other players in terms of, hey man, you're coming in here. You got to show us you've improved. If you want to be around in the fall to play in these games, you got to show us that you can, that you're a changed man. And so we'll see what happens. My understanding is Chris Marshall understands this is his last chance and is kind of motivated to finally make something here. And we'll see. Very intriguing addition for sure. Mike, I'm going to keep this thing going. I got a couple other sponsors and things I want to touch on and a couple other topics. I'll let you roll. I appreciate you for sticking here for 45 minutes. But what do we got? I know you'll have plenty of Super Bowl talk. What else we got on Idaho Sports Talk today?
Yeah, we're going to dive hard into the Super Bowl today, and I can't wait to do that with Johnny Ballgame and JP, and we're also going to dive into some basketball. Bob's going to have the Bronco focus, as we'll dive into that as well, so it's a cool transition. No football this weekend, plenty of basketball stuff to talk about, and we're going to get after it pretty dang hard.
You know why I'm always excited for the Super Bowl? Because that means that the Battle Hawks and the UFL or whatever they're calling it now is right around the corner.
Oh, BG, the UFL. I saw those commercials over the weekend. The Rock, baby. The Rock is going to make a difference. Not.
The Battle Hawks, baby. Let's go. Can't wait. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, BJ. Appreciate you, bud.
There he is, Mike Prater. We appreciate him for joining us. Don't forget, we'll keep this thing going for a few more minutes. We hope you will RSVP. Mike Prater is coming to the pool party. You can see him there. Him and Johnny will be doing their show there. We have over 50 people that have already RSVP'd for the pool party, so hopefully you will jump in and join us. Rains at BroncoNationNews.com. Just send us an email, RSVP, Rains at BroncoNationNews.com. This is semifinal Friday. I know some folks are on the fence about whether or not they want to go to the Mountain West tournament. Why would you not? This is the year. All these games are going to be competitive and close. And let's be honest, Boise State may end up needing to win a couple of games here in the tournament to get in. So these are going to be big, important games. And we're taking over Stadium Swim, Circa Resort and Casino. We're going to have a private pool. We're going to have cabanas. We're going to have Johnny and Prater doing their show out there. We're going to have food and drink for subscribers, some light appetizers and stuff. And I'll buy you a drink or two if you're a paying subscriber. So we're going to have a special cabana where you'll be able to hang out. And it's going to be, if you've never been to Vegas, if you've never been in particular to Circa Resort and Casino down there on Fremont Street, I highly, highly recommend it. And what better way to come and hang out with us at Bronco Nation News and 95.3 The Ticket. So again, if you're staying at the hotel or you want to stay at the hotel, that gets you free entry into this party, and I have a 15% off link. If you're looking to stay at Circa or the D, I can get you 15% off for the hotel if you email me. And again, if you're not staying there, that's fine, but we still want you to come to the party. Typically, it's a $40 or $50 cover charge. We can get you in for free if you just email me an RSVP at rains@BroncoNationNews.com. We are also getting closer to our grand prize giveaway. It'll be in about 2 weeks. So get in now while you can. We'll have another winner on Friday. We'll have some giveaways. This Friday, we'll give away some items from Cutwater and some other things we have. And then in about 2 weeks, we'll give away our grand prize, a trip for two on a private jet down to San Diego for the final game of the season. You get to stay the night. You get to have a nice brunch, hopefully out by the beach. We might even get a chance to tour the Cutwater facilities. They're based in San Diego there. We're working on that. And again, you have to be a paying yearly subscriber. So $50 for that first year BNN 50 deal helps support Bronco Nation News and get exclusive access to Mike Prater's columns and my articles and some exclusive shows. You get a daily email update, some other things. $50 for an entire year. It's less than $1 a week using that promo code BNN 50 deal. And again, that gets you in addition to the access to the full access to the website and the videos and articles, you get into some cool contests and things like this one for a chance to go for two on a private jet to San Diego for the final game of the season. So hopefully you will sign up and take advantage of that. We got some other comments and things rolling in here. March in Vegas, way better than Vegas in July. I think Manny's going. Looking forward to seeing you down there, Manny. Hopefully you got my other email that I sent you. If you didn't, let me know. But I believe that you have to. I believe I got your email. And I believe you're good. But let me know if you're not. Again, we can get you the link to stay at the hotel. We can get you the link for the free entry into the party. We've already got over 50 people. Over 50 Boise State. I mean, this is going to be the event of the tournament, and it's going to be awesome. And you're going to meet other Boise State fans and get to hang out and have some food and drinks and watch all the other games on the TVs. And I mean, what else are you going to do? You coming in for the tournament? You got to kill all day Friday before the game Friday night. And again, even if Boise State were to lose on Thursday, usually most people are staying. They got their tickets bought already for their plane flights and stuff. Come hang out at the party at the pool and not worry about the game for a while. And it's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. And yes, Nathaniel, BNN takeover of Circa and Stadium Swim. I just need you to bring the hat, the foam Ranger. You got to bring the hat to the pool with you, man. We're looking forward to that. You're going to need to protect yourself from the sun anyway. Perfect. And then we need the hat at the pool party at Circa. But Johnny and Prater are going to be doing their show. We'll be doing some video segments. We'll have some prizes to give away. I know Circa is going to give us some stuff to give away too, in terms of some hats and shirts and stuff from Circa. So we'll be out there about 10 to 5. It's going to be a lot of fun. I would recommend coming closer to the early couple of hours. 10 to 1, 10 to 2 probably would be the best time to come. That's when I'll be out there is the earlier portion, and then their show starts at 2. But I know with the game and everybody wants to get back and change and get ready to get down there for the game. So I would recommend coming around 10 and staying, early afternoon and then seeing how it goes. Looking forward to that. Our friends at Boise Dev wondering if Taylor Swift will be there. Probably not, but I guess you never know. We'll leave it at that. You never know. But excited for that and excited for some other stuff. We do have our date for the golf tournament. We'll be announcing that here in the near future, but it's the same Friday following Memorial Day, May 31st. Save the date, May 31st for the BNN golf tournament. Looking forward to that. So going to be a lot of fun stuff coming with BNN, and we appreciate all you guys for your support and looking forward to that. Looking forward to that grand prize giveaway to a trip for 2 on the private jet down to San Diego. We had a lot of fun on the last trip to Las Vegas last year, and we're going to do it again. But we're talking to Leon Rice today. We'll see what he has to say. We'll get that up on the YouTube channel. Jay Tust and I will discuss it tomorrow, and then I am off tomorrow afternoon to Albuquerque, New Mexico for the game on Wednesday. Full coverage Wednesday in the morning with John Mallory, and then we'll have myself live with the pregame show and the postgame show courtside from the pit on Wednesday night. The game's at 8:30, another late one, 7:30 Mountain Time will be the pregame show, the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. And good, Manny was able to get it booked. So we'll be seeing Manny at Circa. I'm glad to hear that, Manny. That's awesome. Glad you're coming. I've never in my entire life met one person that went to Circa and didn't like it. So the rooms are a little bit pricier than maybe your standard kind of, hotel in Vegas, but they're worth every penny of it. It's a high class resort, high class place. And you touch screens on the lighting and stuff in your room. It is all first class at Circa Resort and Casino. And I highly recommend it if you're looking for a nice experience. And with that pool, it's going to be so much fun. But again, if you're not staying there, you can still get free access to our party if you RSVP to Reigns at BroncoNationNews.com. Somebody was asking about the NIL deals on BNN. We will have some footage of that hopefully on Wednesday morning. As I said, our Lithia ad right now is outdated on the commercial because I'm waiting until tomorrow when they announce the 2 new deals with the new football players, and we'll get some coverage of that on Wednesday. I wish I could go, but I'll already be flying down to Albuquerque, but we'll have Jaden there hopefully. It's going to be pretty cool when you hear about that. And then that'll be updated in our new commercials and stuff starting on Thursday on February 1st. So appreciate you guys for checking us out. Hope you have a great rest of your day. If any news breaks, we'll have it. You can read my recap and story from the game on Saturday at BroncoNationNews.com. Mike Prater is going to have a Max Rice column coming in the next 24 to 48 hours as well. And then, as I said, Leon Rice talking today. We'll get that up on the BNN YouTube channel. And then tomorrow morning, Jay Tust and I, 9 a.m., we'll have a fresh edition of Bronco Nation News Live. So thanks so much. Go subscribe if you can. Again, BNN 50 deals, that promo code at the bottom of the screen that gets you an entire year of full access to our site for just $50 and enters you in all of our subscriber giveaways, including the grand prize trip to San Diego, which we'll draw here in about 2 weeks. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. What is the deal with the NIL talk? Lithia Florida Boise, if you came in late, Lithia Florida Boise it's actually tomorrow at 4:00, Tuesday at 4:00. They're just announcing 2 new football players that are going to be getting F-150 trucks. Obviously, Talon Green had to give his truck back, and obviously Riley Smith is graduated, so they're just picking 2 new football players that they will be giving the trucks to, and those will be announced tomorrow at 4:00 at Lithia Ford, and the players will drive off in their new trucks. They've also got Paige Barsh on the volleyball team upgrading her vehicle, and then there is a golfer as well. So there's a golfer that they'll be renewing with a vehicle too, a women's golfer. So they'll have 4 athletes, 2 football players, volleyball and women's golf, and hats off to Jim Sturk, Lithia Florida Boise. They're doing a great job. And no, it is not Ashton Genty. Just letting you know. So appreciate you guys. We'll have more on that later this week, but hope you can go subscribe, enter in the contest to win the trip to San Diego for the last game of the season. And otherwise, hope you're subscribing to our YouTube channel here as we make our push towards 5,000 YouTube subscribers. That's our first big goal here that we'd love to get. We're about 550 away. So tell your friends, subscribe, like the video, turn on notifications so you know when we go live for future broadcasts. And if there's breaking news, we can all jump in whenever. But as of now, that'll be 9 a.m. tomorrow for our next broadcast with Jay Tuss. So thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to you guys for the support, all the comments during the shows. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News live here at BroncoNationNews.com.